time to run a little two-man game with the host of the excellent Jalen and Jacoby, David Jacoby, ladies and gentlemen. Let's run that two-man game.
Let's do it.
Okay,
let's do it.
Go. All right, we start in Milwaukee where somebody freaked Giannis. Miles Bridges on the break. There he is, catches an oop right on the head of the reigning Finals MVP. Is Miles Bridges the biggest body snatcher in the league right now, David?
Yes, and he's also really improved his jump shot. He used to just be like a freak athlete. Remember him in Michigan State? But he's really improved his scoring and his all-around game. It's not just highlight dunks for Bridges anymore. They can rely on him for consistent offense, and he's provided all season long.
All right, but it wasn't all about the dunk last night. This was a great game with LaMelo Ball and Giannis exchanging buckets down the stretch. LaMelo had 36, 9, and 5. Giannis with 40, 12, and 9, plus the game winner. What did you take away from this matchup?
Look at this, going to his left, reaching back with his right. I love this game, and people say there's no such thing as moral victories. I completely disagree. Huge win for the Hornets in a loss, going toe-to-toe with the champs. Back and forth, exchanging shots. I really, really like this Hornets team, the way they've improved from last year to this year.
Superstar that kind of can produce like the MVP Finals. And we have a classic Eastern Conference throwback tonight, a Knicks-Bulls game that actually matters. What year is this? It's been 25 years since that happened. The Knicks were in the playoffs last year, but the Bulls made moves in the offseason and are presently top 4 in the conference. Jacoby, before we get into tonight's matchup, please try to explain to the youths out there why this rivalry matters.
I don't need to explain to you, because you were here and you lived it, but the double nickel game. Like when the Bulls come to town, the Starks dunk. And then there is also the Scottie Pippen dunk. Like some of my best NBA memories are the Bulls coming to the Garden and playing in the world's most famous arena, and the sound of Marv. That baseline move from Jordan right there. Like, this is a classic rivalry that literally hasn't mattered in decades.
No, and the youths don't even know about it. By the way, people think the Knicks won a playoff series. Like, no, they didn't. People just thought maybe they would.
Game 7. There was one Game 7. That was the best. It was one of the only Game 7s that Jordan was ever forced to play in.
Who have you been most impressed with on the Bulls this year so far?
Lonzo Ball. We know what we're going to get from DeMar DeRozan. He scores 25 every time he puts on sneakers. But Lonzo Ball's improvement in his jump shot and his defense, he's shooting 44%. Remember his jump shot coming out of UCLA? It was around his ear. Now he's shooting 44% from 3. He's really improved year after year after year. He's kind of forgotten about, drafted by the Lakers, went to the Pelicans, but he has really helped them defensively, which is one of the biggest questions going into the season, is can they get stops, and he helps.
What team would Lonzo not have improved? He shoots, he defends, he grabs rebounds.
The ball,
he doesn't care about his
vision.
stats. He's a good team. Like, what do you? Okay, Knicks were one of the best teams in the East last season, but the whole conference has improved, and they're in the middle of a brutal stretch of their schedule. What do they need to do to get back into the top half of the East?
Oh, they are not going to get back into that number 4 spot. I mean, if you remember last year, it was kind of like miraculous that they even got there. Because the difference between 4 and 7 was so small. But I'm starting to think that this Knicks season might have already peaked on opening night. Remember Bing Bong and all of that? Right now it feels a little bit more like Bing Wrong than Bing Bong.
How about this whole Knicks era may have peaked last year? Like every time they scrape into the playoffs. But there does seem to be a feeling with the Knicks now that maybe a superstar, the culture is healthy enough, that maybe a superstar will want to join the team, and that is the surefirest way. Surefirest? To win?
Surefirest?
Yeah, I don't know.
Fired?
Surest firest?
We're firing?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.